What does the phrase mystical experience call to your mind? Is it an ascetic monk meditating on a mountaintop in the Himalayas? A middle-aged mother of four overcome by the Holy Spirit at a Southern Baptist revival? What about traversing the canyons of the Karja Sunlands astride your robotic charger in the video game Horizon Zero Dawn? Mystical experiences aren't something we often see discussed in the context of video games. First of all, when talking about something as deeply personal as spiritual experiences, it's very easy to offend, which is certainly not my intent. If you are here to be offended, YouTube has conveniently placed a comment section below this video for you to let everyone know just how irked you are. If you're here to get a deeper understanding of some of the ways we might interact with spirituality in the modern world, I hope to provide some food for thought. If you're here for biting humor and top-notch journalistic insight, well, there's always Total Biscuit. With a disclaimer out of the way, some of you may be wondering if the topic of games as a religious experience is worth addressing at all. Depending on your beliefs, you may think of spirituality as an obsolete concept, especially irrelevant to gaming.
The old ways are dying. There are so many ways to interpret one's place in the universe. Who needs the wisdom of our ancestors?
If that's how you feel, I won't try to change any opinions, but I will refer you to one of my favorite philosophers, William James. James was a philosopher and psychologist active during the late 18th and early 19th centuries, a time when rapid advances in science and technology were causing many to question the foundational role that religion had played in their lives. As Nietzsche declared that God is dead, and intellectual battle lines began to be drawn between scientific rationalism and religious faith, divisions that continue to this day, James advocated for a middle ground. He acknowledged the merit of the scientific method in understanding more about the world around us, but at the same time he refused to dismiss the value of people's religious experiences. Listen to this quote from the Varieties of Religious Experience, one of James's seminal works. All our attitudes, moral, practical, or emotional, as well as religious, are due to the objects of our consciousness, the things which we believe to exist, whether really or ideally, along with ourselves. Such objects may be present to our senses, or they may be present only to our thought. In either case, they elicit from us a reaction, and the reaction due to things of thought is notoriously, in many cases, as strong as that due to sensible presences. Even if you can't objectively prove or share another individual's religious experience, that experience remains absolutely real for that individual. It affects their understanding of the world and informs the tangible choices and actions they make. That alone makes religious experience worthy of study. So let's get back to our main question of how video games can present spiritual experiences. First, a dissenting opinion. In the early pages of Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance, Robert M. Pirsig states, "You see things vacationing on a motorcycle in a way that is completely different from any other. In a car, you're always in a compartment, and because you're used to it, you don't realize that through that car window, everything you see is just more TV. You're a passive observer, and it's all moving by you boringly in a frame." Pay attention to the subtext here, the negative connotation of TV as frivolous, surface-level nonsense. Pirsig is implying that what we view through a frame or screen, by nature of its artificiality, is fundamentally removed from truth and profound experience. I find this particular idea heartbreaking. There's no question that screens have become inextricably tied to modernity. As social media, games, movies, websites all become increasingly pervasive in our world, I'd hate to think that we're becoming disconnected from any avenue of truly profound experience. I think we owe it to ourselves to investigate how the artificial may in fact provide its own channel towards understanding the profound and religious experience. Fortunately, it seems there are a number of creators in the video game industry that agree with me. Games like Journey, Dear Esther, and Abzu actively seek to provoke a deep emotional or even spiritual response in the player. I love these types of games. Even when they don't personally provide me with the type of mystical experience the developer intended, I can fully appreciate what the creators were going for. You're likely familiar with these types of games already and have formed your own opinions about the value of so-called walking simulators, so I won't spend a lot of time discussing these overtly mystical gaming experiences. Although as an aside, if you're looking for some perhaps lesser-known titles in this genre, I can personally recommend Drizzlepath, Mind, Path to Thalamus, Master Reboot, and almost anything by Tale of Tales, such as The Path, The Graveyard, and Fatale. Instead, though, I'd like to discuss the intriguing idea of mystical experiences in games not explicitly designed for that purpose. Let's return to William James's Varieties of Religious Experience to hear a first-hand account of a religious experience from Quaker founder George Fox. As I was walking with several friends, I lifted up my head and saw 3 steeplehouse spires, and they struck at my life. I asked them what that place was. They said Litchfield. Immediately the word of the Lord came to me that I must go thither. Then I walked on about a mile, and as soon as I got within the city, the word of the Lord came to me again, saying, "Cry, woe to the bloody city of Litchfield." So I went up and down the streets, crying with a loud voice, "Woe to the bloody city of Litchfield!" As I went thus crying through the streets, there seemed to me to be a channel of blood running down the streets, and the marketplace appeared like a pool of blood. When I had declared what was upon me and felt myself clear, I went out of the town in peace. If someone could have so profound a religious experience just walking towards a town, could it not also be possible to have a religious experience while exploring a virtual environment? Even one not explicitly designed with the intent to provoke a spiritual reaction. It's already been observed that many multiplayer games such as Call of Duty or League of Legends evoke a sense of flow in players. Flow in this case refers to the psychological concept wherein a person performing an activity is fully immersed in a feeling of energized focus, full involvement, and enjoyment in the process of the activity. In essence, flow is characterized by a transcendent absorption in what someone's doing, and it correlates to many other religious practices, especially Eastern traditions such as yoga and Zen meditation. Given such similarities, I don't think it's much of a stretch to picture an individual having a mystical experience prompted by any number of stimuli, and indeed, any number of games. Let's take a closer look at 2 game series that have had a personal impact on me, Ratchet & Clank and Spyro the Dragon. These series share a common developer, Insomniac Games, and for all their differences, their fantastical, otherworldly environs have provided me with some of the most haunting experiences of my life. And it looks like I'm not the only one. Here's a comment a user made on the Tabora Mining Area OST, a track from the Ratchet & Clank Going Commando soundtrack. So beautiful, yet disturbing, and nostalgic, and wow. This song is so many things I can't really put it into words. This makes me feel like I'm in another reality, if you know what I mean. I think it would be better suited for the outside crystal area, as it has a feeling of isolation and serenity to it. One of the best songs I've heard in my entire life, and definitely the best video game OST track ever. In reply, CrystalFissure, one of the most active members of the Ratchet & Clank and Spyro fan communities, writes, "It's genius, just like the track in RNC3, Obani Gemini, Zygon System. It definitely has that outer-worldy vibe to it that can't be explained. It's the mix of techno and ambient synths, I reckon." So what we're seeing here is several people across a variety of backgrounds experiencing a deep emotional response to a video game. Let's look at what Spyro fan creator Mardamace says in some of his Spyro-related videos. Note that these comments specifically acknowledge the mystical experiences in a Christian framework, but I think we can appreciate them regardless of religious specification. In the description of a video entitled Enter the Dragonfly 2002 Pink Sky, Mardamace writes, "The Spyro games in my childhood have also been games where I thought about Jesus when I came to know him. The skies in this game are just beautiful. The revelation and mystery in them when you look, you truly think and realize that he allowed them to be created for a reason. He certainly has spoken to me through games, these innocent, beautiful games. People don't always realize that the creators of these games were actually copying God, copying his skies we see in the world, the lush green, the blue, the pink, his handiwork. Spyro is such an inspirational series for this creator that he continues to make music inspired by the games. On one of these videos, Dragon Shemp Rock, Mardamace writes, "I have always been childlike. I'm a kid with a lot of fun in me, and the things I have thought about of the characters through the 3 Spyro games years ago growing up are too much to begin with. Guys, Spyro means so much to me, and every character spoke to me as well as had a mystery behind them. Every sound, every level, every character color is deep in me to this very day, and all of my Spyro songs have my heart and soul in them." I don't know if a game has ever been this impactful in your life, but I hope you can see the sincerity and depth of the experiences these games have provided others. Now, I'm not arguing that video games or any artificial source construes the best or only path to seek truth. Rather, I want us to consider that we should seek profound experiences in every outlet of our lives, including games, movies, TV shows, what have you. Put another way, I hope we can begin talking about bringing a specific awareness or receptiveness to our gaming experiences that will truly let us get the most from them. I hope this video has provided you some food for thought. This is a topic I'm very passionate about, and I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Thanks for watching.